Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Sisters of Legacy. We are very excited about tonight's topic as well as all of our guests. So we are going to go ahead and run our intro, and we'll be right back. As soon as I get to it. Why is my intro going? Hello, everyone. Hey, Lisa, thanks for joining us. So I'm going to introduce everybody tonight. I'll make it easy. I will make it easy. Sorry, on everyone. So we'll start with our every Tuesday ladies. The wonderful Tangela Terrell.
Good evening.
And we have Shanetta McNair.
Hey.
And Katrina Taylor.
Hello. What?
Okay. And we have some awesome guests tonight. The lovely, talented author extraordinaire, Dr. Latrice Rollins.
Woo. Good evening.
And then we have the wonderful Elder Ephraim Terrell.
Yeah.
And then we have AD.
Wow.
Wait a minute. You know what? We're going to start off like that. That's fine. Thank you guys for having me.
We have AD from Brothers of Legacy joining us tonight. At the top, my honey.
I'm so excited to be here.
See, too much. All right. So let me give you some background to this topic. So this topic, toxic masculinity. It was a conversation that Anthony and I was having in our house that then became the topic that they have been talking about this week on Brothers of Legacy. And although when you hear toxic masculinity, you often think of men, and I agree, it's centered around men. I feel like, women, we have a part in it. Either we're on the receiving end, we've raised some of these men that have grown up with these toxic traits. We know these men. Some of us even love these men. Not necessarily as spouses, could be brothers, cousins, friends. We have a relationship with these people. So I felt it was important for women to be able to give their take or their view on it. As a woman, as a mother, sister, all those things. So I wanted us to talk about it. I just want to say as a disclaimer that we love men. Of course, our men. Let me just make that clear. We love our husbands, our fathers, our brothers. We have, I'll speak for myself. I have very, very good, hi, mother. I have very good male friends. You got Ephraim. He's one of them, upstanding gentlemen. But I have several upstanding men, that are friends. So this is not one of those things where we want to bash guys. Even those that may display these traits or have fallen into that category, this is not about bashing them. The purpose of the conversation is that maybe hearing from a woman what it feels like to have to experience some of these things, maybe it will cause them to think a little longer next time before they react or before they act or before they speak. So that is the purpose of the conversation. Again, we love men. We love our Black men. We support our Black men. Dr. Rollins is a major advocate for Black men and fathers. So we want to make that clear. This is not about putting down anybody. So with that being said, I'm going to let AD kind of
Okay.
just give us like a quick synopsis of like kind of how you guys ended today. Like what was the tenor of the conversation for today?
I think one of the, I guess, the dividing lines or blurred lines that we talked about was kind of like the approach to courting, to say it in a more proper manner, courting a woman or just even complimenting a woman, even if it's not in a courting sense, right? Like an everyday complimentary. I remember, I think the last thing I asked the ladies that were in the audience about, receiving compliments. And, there was the no, and then there was the other that were depending on how the delivery or how Pastor kind of put it in the package, how was it delivered? And for myself, I'm a keep it real. Like I want to have these conversations because I want to kind of have some definition of boundaries. What is acceptable? What is not acceptable? Not only, of course, myself, but I'm married, so I don't really have that issue. But for my son, and what am I teaching him? What should I be instilling into my daughter and things of that nature? Because, things can get blurry and, those blurred lines where, my son comes like, Dad, I didn't realize I did something wrong, and I never want him to be in that position. So having these conversations so we have an understanding of where the line is at. So to sum it up quickly, basically, we ended the conversation in compliments and, going out, where should compliments happen? We talk about the gym. And for me, I was playfully saying, is that just off limits? When is there a good time to shoot your shot? Is it any appropriate time, but is it more how it's delivered or when it's delivered? I think that was kind of how we were closing out.
Okay. So we're going to pose that question. Is it how it's delivered or when it's delivered? Is that a question?
Yes.
And the term, the what is compliments?
Right. Yes.
Can you clarify something for me? So you said the gym is off limits?
I said that. I mean, I said it, kind of like, okay, so the gym, because like I said, defining rules, like if the gym is off limits, because, women go and workout gear, how they dress, whatever, is the gym off limits? Is that not
like no gym, no church, no funerals? Can you shoot your shot at them three places?
I mean, is it where, ladies, or is it when, or is it how? Like, is it how it's said or when? Again, granted, funerals are very sensitive, but it still doesn't mean there wouldn't be a time to shoot a shot. But is the funeral? I mean, not funeral, but honestly, like, based on, and I know everybody is here that's married now. Trina's a widow, so she's in a single space. How do you guys feel about, or when you're single, like when's a proper time for a shot to be given, or how or when, or a specific? What's that face, Sam?
I'll just bring it up from this morning because I was on live this morning.
Yes.
And I think what happened was there was a question about being dressed a certain way.
Right.
And if you're at the gym and you've got your, I guess, tight clothing on for the gym. And that's how you should be dressed at the gym because you're at the gym. If someone is giving you a compliment,
right,
it's the how. Okay, because if they're, taking advantage of the fact that you have on gym clothes to look at your body and make a comment or whatever, then that could be viewed as inappropriate. I don't think the gym is off limits for shooting your shot, however, because, and the reason I say that is because, okay, now you know me, I don't go nowhere or do anything. So people will be like, oh, a gym is a good place for you to go meet somebody. So
Right.
maybe go to the gym, go to the
They
grocery
say it like that.
store, this place. So, okay, if I'm at the gym and there's somebody cute and they shoot their shot, then I think that's fine. But again, it's how you do it. Don't be looking at my, okay,
Keep it real.
whatever,
Real, son.
while I'm at the gym. But if you see, if I happen to see you, and it's like I can't remember who was saying it. It might have been Elder McCurry who said that's your only chance. That might be your only chance,
Right.
to talk to somebody.
Right.
So if you approach and say, hi, how are you? Very nicely and respectfully, regardless of what I have on.
Right.
Just keep your eyes where they need to be while you give, while you say, hey, how are you? I, just want to say good morning. Maybe I could talk to you. Very nicely and respectfully. I think the gym could be a place to meet somebody or for somebody to shoot their shot. Just keep it.
What about the funeral?
Before we get into
the funeral,
way down in all these particulars,
right?
I feel like this is gonna go way left.
Yeah. Don't let it go way left.
So before we go way left, let's see. Carissa said it's definitely the how.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll say this: the part from this morning that kind of stuck out, I guess that was the part that kept coming around to was more or less the compliments and whatever. So I'm gonna assume that across the board is generally how, right?
Right. Not
how somebody
now. Yeah.
Right. And so for me, I was saying like you get to a point where it's like, don't compliment me. Just, because the how come across so funky. You know what I'm saying? Like, one, I can't determine what you're gonna say. You know what I'm saying? I can't determine what you're gonna say. You don't know what I want to hear or what I don't want to hear. Right. So it's an awkward space. So like, I just, and plus I ain't interested anyway. So for me, like, I feel like there's no random compliment. I feel like, especially from a stranger. Now, somebody that knows you, they can randomly compliment you and not expect anything, because they know you. But I feel like a stranger on the street of the opposite sex, well, I guess in Atlanta it could be, like that compliment you, I feel like there's something after that. Like they're looking for something.
I would agree. I think it's the how, and to kind of correlate compliments to toxic masculinity. I think it's that forceful, off-putting compliment. At that point, it ceases to become a compliment. Now it's kind of a intrusion. It's the grabbing your hand. It's, touching you. It's like, I don't know you for you to be in my space that way. I think that's when the compliment turns creepy. And I think, I don't think there's necessarily a wrong place. It can be off-putting depending on, where it is. But I think it's more so the delivery, and making sure that you are providing a comforting, environment. Because, most of the time, the men are maybe physically bigger and maybe more intimidating. So you want to make sure that if you're approaching a woman that you don't know, chances are not to take the aggressive approach, in my opinion. I mean, some women may like that, but I would get creeped out by it and start, reaching for my keys.
Okay, so let me ask a question, ladies, to kind of keep in line with what I said in the beginning. As a woman, right, when somebody compliments you, is your response always because, I don't know, this morning they kind of alluded to women leaving the house wanting compliments. So when you leave the house and you get dressed up and you cute, do you leave the house wanting to be complimented by complete strangers?
My
Nice.
answer is gonna be a definite no. For me, like what I wear, what I even before I was married, what I put on was more so for my own comfort or what I like to wear or what I'm comfortable in. So I've never been that type of person to be like at the house, like, oh yeah, I'm buying this, I'm wearing this because I want to look, I'm like, what do I like? Does that color go well with, my skin tones? Is it cute on me? Do I like it? Am I able to compliment myself when I put this on? And if those answers are yeah, then I'm going to wear it. If the answers are no, then I'm probably not going to wear it. So I'm not looking for anyone else to compliment me per se, just pretty much wearing what I'm comfortable
from the right person, right?
He said, so Elvin said cute, but looking for compliments from the right looking person.
I mean, you don't want nobody, with a jacked up grill get a compliment. Like,
I mean, so do you? I mean, when you're going out, right? Other than trying to at least look decent and together and not jacked up, do you go the extra mile to look cute? You know what I'm saying? And what is your motivation for really looking cute? Is it where you're going? Is it not maybe either not even get attention, but you go, oh, I'm looking fine today. Like what is the motivation when you go out?
Who gets dressed and leaves their house and say, oh, like something you put together, you're like, I know this is bad, but I'm gonna go out anyway. Like, I mean, your motivation for you buy your clothes because you want to look good in them.
Have you ever changed the outfit because somebody might holler at you?
Right.
I've
That's
never
good.
done that.
You said what you said?
Kind of like what Trina was saying, like, if you wear certain things to the gym, somebody gonna holler, right? So have you ever changed the outfit so people wouldn't holler at you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
I have.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's unfair to us as women. Like, I gotta try to think, oh, I better not put that on because I might encounter 5 pervs when I go to the mall.
Well, why he a perv though?
Well, for me, it's not necessarily, the pervs. It's more so, is this appropriate for the setting? Like, if it's I'll ask you, is this too short, to wear to church? So I would change if it's like, this might be, doing too much, for a church setting.
But why he a pervert though? Like, what's okay, I'm saying you don't know him, he don't know you. He just sees something he like and he shoots his shot. Like, how is he a pervert before he say him?
That's how he's representing himself.
Right. He can't shoot a shot. I'm just saying he can't shoot a shot. That's all I'm saying. You just said it earlier. He don't know you. He don't know what you like. He don't know what you into.
Right.
Dude's got to do something drastically different. I'm pretty sure everybody on this call get hollered at 5 times a day. So he wants to stand out from the other guys.
Right.
He does something crazy. Shoots his shot.
Okay, but why is the assumption, like, I feel like from being a woman, on the woman's side of it, like, we have to accept it. I have to accept that he has to shoot a shot. He got to shoot a shot. What? Like, why do I have to accept that, though? Like, as a woman, and okay, I'm married, fine, not just me. Maybe, maybe Trina want to just go to the mall. Maybe she not looking for nobody to be shooting their shot. Like, why does a woman have to accept that?
You don't have to say that. She can. That's why we rephrase it. You can shoot them down.
Okay, so I'm saying. So, are you saying when you go out, a shot should not be taken? I'm saying, like, how then does a man know
when to approach and when not to approach. Like, it's not like we're walking around with a neon sign that says "Do not approach me today." So if a man is finding a woman attractive, because of course, if he doesn't know her, she is going to have to be physically attractive in order for him to decide, I want to shoot my shot and get to know her better. So clearly, like, she looks like the type of woman that I like. I like her size. I like her height. I like her hair. I like her face. I like her body, whatever it is that makes him want to approach. How does he then know not to shoot his shot because, like, I mean, some of us go out, like, before I was married, I was a gray jogging suit person. Like, I've told y'all about this before. Like, I literally lived in gray jogging suits. I had multiple gray jogging suits. Like, it was just easy. But people still talk to me, and it was just kind of like, but why? Do you not see what I look like? Like, I look a mess. Like, why do you want to talk to me? But
dude's gonna shoot a shot regardless. I don't care if you come out in pajamas, hair rollers. Y'all done tried everything y'all can try. Dude's still shooting a shot. I don't care about
at
that.
what point
Walmart,
does it doesn't cross a line at no point? It's just normal.
Because no, I mean, no, like, now pushing, keeping it going, you done, like, calm him down, shot him down. Okay, he's crossing the line then. But I'm saying to shoot his shot. They go to shoot right now. Yeah. So, but yeah, like, he don't know you at first. He got to shoot a shot. Yeah, but everybody got a line they cross. Dudes take it too far. Yeah, there ain't no doubt about that. And dudes get creepy. But I'm just saying, before he say a word, I don't know if we can label him a pervert, though, can we?
Tawan said, you don't have control over other people's mouths. You're not looking or interested in compliments. Just ignore it or say thank you and keep it pushing. See that, like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, why does it now fall on the woman to divert your attention somewhere else? Is that fair? Being a woman, is it fair for me? I gotta try to divert your attention or shoot you down without offending you too much, because then you become ignorant and call me out my name. Like,
it's an offer. You just make an offer. Sam, you want $100? Yes or no?
Is it really that simple though?
I'm saying it's just I'm offering it to you. All you got.
I think for the most part it is. I feel for the most part it is. But even so, I mean, so my question then is, Sam, if you're saying that,
don't say my name like that.
If you don't want it to happen, then do we just get rid of it? Like I said from the beginning of the conversation, like, what is the line? Where do we know what to do and where to step? So if it's like shooting your shot is no longer acceptable, because you know what I'm saying, like, if the ladies are like, you know what, we dig the shooting of the shot, but it's a little too much. You guys need to back off and save it for the club, or if I get to know you in the job, you know, like, or certain spaces, then we'll shift the culture, you know, because culturally a lot of things have changed since, you know, 30, 40 years ago. Culturally, in office spaces is changed. You know, we used to roll up on a woman and say anything and it was acceptable, you know, and it was because of the culture. It wasn't like the woman liked it or like all women liked it. You know, a great number felt it disrespectful. That's why it's changed. That's why there's sexual harassment now, you know, because the culture has changed. And us men like, okay, my bad. I was taught this. I thought we were cool. This is not right, you know, and things change. So that's my question. That's why I want to have these conversations, because so we can get these lines. So that's my question. Do you feel that?
Dr. Rollins.
Yes, Dr. Rollins.
I'm sorry. Jump in, say something, because you just sitting and looking. You guys,
I mean, because I feel like the question was answered earlier in terms of it's really about the how, you know, and so toxic behavior is really about aggression. It's about, you know, violence, you know, that type of behavior. Somebody giving you a compliment, somebody shooting their shot, as we're talking about extensively now. That's not necessarily in the line of toxic masculinity. It's it'd be uncomfortable for us a lot of times, you know, it may be unwelcome, but that's not really what they are referring to in terms of toxic masculinity. So just to kind of answer your question, Brother Anthony, just, I don't think that shooting your shot is ruled out. Folks have to get together. Folks have to figure out who likes who, and there has to be something. And so where that crosses the line is where you don't accept my no. You don't accept my I'm not interested.
I'm with you.
Then you turn it into, like she said, calling a name, or like Pastor McCory talked about, shooting bullets at a woman because she doesn't want to talk to you. That is toxic behavior. And so that's where we need to teach our men and our boys. If a woman says no, if a woman isn't interested, that is okay. Move on, leave it alone, cut it off. You don't, there used to be the saying, there's many fish in the sea, go whatever, find somebody else, but leave that woman alone. Don't do anything that makes her feel uncomfortable, because you don't want anybody to do it to you.
Okay, so and so following in line with that, like, I was saying I wanted to hear from women. So, I think earlier was something said about, now you have younger girls having kids. And then, so as mothers, you're raising this boy that's going to turn into a young man, that's going to turn into, a man, and possibly a father, and possibly a husband. And so what things should mothers and women be putting into their children? What things should women be saying that maybe is not being heard enough at home?
I think what Dr. Rollins just said about making sure that they know that if you are shooting your shot or approaching anyone and they say no, that you know how to accept that, and that you don't feel entitled to someone to like you back because you gave them a compliment, or entitled for them to melt because you said hello to them. Like, that's not how things work, and that's not what your expectations should be. You have to learn that you can give a compliment and the person not really want to have a conversation with you further than that compliment, or they may not even want to hear your compliment and may, kind of brush you off and keep it moving. You have to learn how. So teaching, I think, our young men and boys how to accept no as a response, or how to accept rejection in general, and not just, I think that it comes overall as a bigger concept of rejection and things not really working the way you want it to, and not feeling so entitled to everything that you want, you get. I think that's a good lesson for our young men and boys to learn early on.
Okay.
Yeah, Morehouse has done a great job of teaching Sean. I mean, this is, when he was going there over the summer, about consent. So a lot of programs now are teaching boys about getting consent and being very clear about that. Because I think, as Anthony said earlier, like, you want to make sure your son doesn't make a mistake, and thinking, oh, something was cool, but then later on come to find out it wasn't. And now there's legal, consequences and life consequences as a result of thinking something was good and it wasn't good. It wasn't cool with the young lady. And so, that definitely needs to be stressed as well. Not just the no, but just any kind of like being very clear about, was this consensual? Was this, agreed interaction, to say the least, but, making sure that consent is obtained.
And another part of that too is a lot of times when dating, there's the pursuing and the playing hard to get. And so you got to be clear about, okay, when I'm playing hard to get, where is my no meaning absolutely no?
Right.
Because men will sometimes like, okay, I'm supposed to keep pursuing. I'm supposed to keep pushing and pushing because that's what she likes. She likes to say no, but she don't really mean it.
Yeah.
So when do I stop pushing? When do I stop pursuing? When is that really, you know what I'm saying? When does it mean for real?
Sure.
So that like you were talking about, Dr. Rollins, as far as the real meaning of what's consent really given, like young men have to really think it through and say, okay, I'm not just, just pushing because that's what I'm supposed to do.
I think we need to teach all young people that your no needs to mean no, and let your yes be yes and let your no be no. Let's not confuse things. Let's not muddy the waters. Let's not play around with that, oh, let me play hard to get. No, be hard to get. Don't play hard to get. Be hard to get. And it's really that simple. Like, let's not play with it. But yeah, we have to learn how to really let our terms mean what they're supposed to mean and not muddy the waters with all this other stuff that we try to change. Well, if you say no this way, then it means yes, but you gotta take it. No means no.
Yeah.
And your sons need to understand that, and your daughters need to understand that. So we can't toss the whole responsibility of consent and all that kind of stuff just strictly on our boys, while they need to know it because they're the ones that usually end up paying the price for it. Our girls need to learn that we don't play when it comes down to what we're doing with our bodies and what we're doing in relationships with men that we are interacting with. We can't play in that aspect. And I think that would change the culture of some of the things that we face and some of the things that we deal with, and we like to toss it onto our men and boys and say, well, they shouldn't have, and they, and it could, and not that I don't, support young women who come forward and say, I was violated or mistreated or whatever the case may be, but we have to make sure that we're not just teaching our sons, that we're also teaching our daughters how to behave as well.
Yeah, those communication skills are key, and there are also classes that teach young ladies about, even in terms of health and in making sure that their partner, protects, where's protection or whatever they're trying to communicate in those interactions, teaching girls how to be strong in that, of like asserting themselves and what they are going to accept and what they, mean in terms of how they will interact with the young man. And being confident in that. And so absolutely right, Shanita, that we have to teach our girls too, how to communicate and be healthy, in relationships and protect themselves too.
Yeah.
Tangela, did you want to say something?
Oh, I agree with everything that's been said.
Okay. Ephraim?
No. Shots.
I heard something about shots.
Oh, I didn't hear what you said. I just saw your lips moving. Okay, so where we are now as like the culture of what's happening now, how do we start to turn things? Can we turn things? Or do we just like hope for better with the next generation?
Who's going to teach them that?
Turning. I think things are turning because our children aren't like us, and they're not like our parents or our grandparents. They are very their kind of concept of some of the rigid gender roles and things like that our parents and grandparents had are just not that, although that we do see some of the same negative behavior in terms of like the rap songs and like, we talked about the shootings and that type of stuff. We do see some of that, but at least with the young men, the majority that I have encountered and spoken with or taught, they have a different mindset in terms of being very fluid in terms of roles and in terms of respecting women. And I think they get it more than previous generations because we are having these open discussions, more frequently. They have access to more information, and we're being more intentional as parents about sharing different things more than our parents or grandparents were, with us.
Okay, so we have a question. She said, I know the discussion is about men, but is it ever okay for a female to shoot her shot? How do men take it? Ephraim. Is it
Wait
okay?
a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a
He
minute.
said, wait a minute.
Well,
Oh,
because I want to give the men a chance to answer first. So, Elder, make sure you sit up so you can answer next.
like, I think it has its like limitations. Like females got a way of letting you know when they're interested. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm shooting my shot because see, one thing I used to think I had game. That ain't the truth. If a female interested in you, she interested. You ain't got no control over none of that. You say some stupid stuff and she still pick up the phone, then that's just her liking you. But like I think, and I'm not saying she's asking that question, but I do think it needs to stop. I'm not big on women proposing to men. I'm not condemning anybody who does that. I'm just saying certain things would make me uncomfortable. So if I ever felt like you did something that's like in my role, then it would make me uncomfortable. I don't mind you shooting your shot, you know what I'm saying? But it just got to stop somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Next thing, what you paying for the meal or you taking me out, you opening my door, like, you know what I'm saying? In my head, that's where it could potentially go. Is all I'm saying.
The slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope. So just sit there, look pretty. Let me shoot my shot. Make me feel like I said something. Give me your number.
So for Ephraim, it has to be like the dropping of the hanky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drop that.
Like get my attention somehow, so I can
need signs. Don't shoot your shot. Just give me signs that you're interested. Yes. All that.
Come on, birthday boy.
Oh yeah. Happy birthday.
Yes.
I think my wife took my words.
Yeah.
The question that AD had posed was asking about the where and the how. The how is important. I would say more important than the where. So with the same thing with the female shooting her shot, it's the how it's being done. And if she knows how to get the attention of the man without going too far, then, so be it. But, you still have to have, clear boundaries of where the woman's side is and where the man is, so that she's not doing the things that a man would do.
Right. Like, don't grab me. Don't grab my hand. Don't touch my butt. Don't do nothing. Like, don't, none of that. Let me know. You're interested. All that.
AD.
I mean, yeah, kind of echoing some of what Elder McNair saying. Just the time and place. Kind of like almost like you ladies. Just how you approach and how you get our attention, things of that nature. I mean, because I understand, just like a man sees a woman that he's interested in, a woman sees a man that she may be interested in. And like you said, I may never see this dude again. I'm going to need to try to get his attention, at least shoot my shot, get in front of him, see if he's interested in me as well. So I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, I'm not going to take it any further than that, but yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it. A woman shooting her shot. Being cordial or just doing it, striking up the conversation. Hey, how's it going? Her with the approach first before I say anything. So no, I don't have a problem with that.
Just act like you don't remember where you parked. You don't know how to start the car. You know what I'm saying? Something simple like that. You can't unlock your phone. I don't know.
Hey, y'all ain't never seen Tuka play that game?
Yes.
There it is.
Yes.
Movie of the week. Yeah.
Okay, so another comment. Social media has a lot to do with the dating scene. Okay. So you never met him in person, but you've been watching him on social media. Do you say something or leave it alone?
Inbox. Am I in his inbox?
Right. That's what the DMs is for.
Am I in the inbox? Yeah. I mean, I guess you do. You say, what do you say? Hey.
Hey, big head.
Right.
I'm mad at you.
Hey, yeah, liking a photo and stuff like that or a comment is not gonna do it.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well,
No.
you know what?
No, you gotta
Not be
DM
no
them.
aggressive.
There's
No.
other
It's-
people liking
well,
his
I wa-
photo.
Just
I mean, like, if-
just like it. That's
No,
it.
How
no,
many other people don't like it?
That's what you don't get. You don't get the.
no,
Don't
no.
like that. Don't do that. Too.
Because it's other people that's liking that's not even interested like that.
Right.
Oh Lord.
Okay.
You gotta slide in that inbox, friend.
Kaneen said, "What if the female is looking for entertainment?"
Entertainment and not a relationship.
Define entertainment.
You remember how I made a comment earlier?
Get down. That's what entertainment
Right,
is.
right.
I made a
Right.
comment about the how
Yes.
determined. I didn't say a whole lot because I'll be trying to abbreviate what I be
Okay.
saying, so I don't look like I'm typing a short story.
Right.
but the how determines what you're looking for or what you're
Right.
expecting from that person.
Oh, okay.
Depending on how you approach them, it should let you know if you're looking for entertainment only.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't condone looking for entertainment only. We condone having
Entertainment
more-
gonna be like location questions. You know what I'm saying? What you
Entertainment, she just
doing?
sent pics in a DM. We all
Yeah.
know what entertainment purposes mean.
Yeah. Your schedule. You know, you free on Saturday type of stuff. Yeah. That's his
All right.
job.
Move us along, Sam. Move us along. Move us along. Move us
Right.
along.
I'm sorry, I had brain freeze. My
No,
brain
you're fine.
got-
You're fine. I know it happened. But you can't. Don't let us stay here. Don't let us stay here.
Okay.
There was a question earlier that was asked about a spouse.
Sean,
Well,
It
I'm,
was-
consistent
yeah,
of your spouse.
I'm not sure.
With
what
that-
that question-
people that don't know each other though.
I mean, you that those.
I think he
those
meant consent in pursuit of your
Oh.
spouse. I think he
Well,
meant consent.
in pursuit of your spouse.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll keep moving it.
So is there such thing as needing consent for your spouse?
I'm still a
I
person.
don't think so. I think he
What?
meant what he said. Consistent.
Oh,
Continually
Consistent.
pursuing your spouse.
what about?
I mean,
I can tell him to come in here. You want to come in here?
oh yeah,
Sure,
go.
bring them on in.
We already got.
Shooting your shot with your spouse. Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where his comment, like what it kind
He
of.
made another comment.
There you go.
Okay.
Shooting your shot with your spouse.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
That was the biggest misconception for me. I didn't know you would still have to do that, but apparently, you still got to let it be known when you married.
Right. You would think the ring would be enough.
I thought it was automatic, but no, you got to shoot the shot. You got to drop context clues. You got to send text messages.
There you go.
Hey, folks.
Hey.
Hold on, bro.
So, okay, elaborate on
Don't
your.
want to get in
what-
trouble.
I want to speak for him.
You want to elaborate on your comment, Sean?
Well, I was saying you're talking about shooting your shot, and I'm just saying, with your spouse, and just what's the best way to put it?
I don't know. Go
Yeah,
and
you
get in
know
trouble.
He said, I ain't saying nothing.
That's
So put it
what
on.
Okay.
Yeah, go.
So, like pressing upon your spouse.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
how you're saying shooting your shot. You know what you want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You know.
that's what I'm saying. For me, I want my spouse to shoot her shot on me.
I don't need to shoot my shot. So
Right.
I mean, yeah, and you don't have to shoot your shot. The whole thing is, if somebody says, we were talking about if okay, so if you're making somebody feel uncomfortable, saying no, I'm not doing that, then that's it. That's all we're saying.
Hey, we're a team, bro. Everybody shoot.
Right.
And everybody has the same rules in terms of,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like if it's a no, it's a no.
Right.
Whether you're married or not, it's a no.
Right.
Okay.
So,
Oh,
Sean,
family.
since you're here, Sean,
Huh?
why don't you tell us some of the things that you taught Sean taught your son, like, you know, as far as interacting with people in the outside world.
I mean, just mainly just respect boundaries. That's really the main focus. If a person says no, especially with physical touching, that's the main thing. We've told them, you know, watch what you say. You know, of course, social media, watch what you text, because those things stay out there. You know, people can find them, and you know, you'll be shocked what your children are saying. Well, not really, but you know, you will hope that they're good with it.
Right. Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Sorry, thank you.
But
Okay,
yeah,
so
just
McNair.
mainly a respect, being respectful.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna read this comment, and then McNair, since you have 4 boys, I'm sure you've had some lots of conversation. Being a mother of all boys, I taught them that they were the prize. I emphasized that they should not give their goods to any girl, and if she give it to them, you are not the only one.
Okay. Okay.
That's a good lesson.
If she giving
What's
it
up?
up that easy,
Yeah.
you're not the only one getting it.
Right.
Only one. Okay.
That's not always the truth. Go ahead.
Not always. That's most of the time.
Go ahead, McNair.
What's up? What you asking?
Tell us some of the things that you taught your sons.
My lesson was pretty simple. My lesson was don't hold hands.
What?
Okay. Okay. Break that down.
Right.
I taught my kids holding hands make babies.
Oh Lord.
Oh, that's how it happened. All right.
I mean, but he said that's the beginning step.
Well, that's what's up.
There's stages. You don't. It's not. You can never use the excuse that it just happened with me.
Yeah.
Right.
It's no such thing. It started somewhere,
Right.
which hence the term "don't hold hands."
Right.
But of course, we had further conversations than that, and yeah. But yeah, communication. Be clear. Make sure you understand. Even if you are naked, and stop. No, any of those terms come out. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get up, put on your clothes, and that's it. You don't. I don't care how much blood pumping through your veins.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Get up, because it could be your life.
Right.
Luna.
I used to tell the boys, honestly, and this was just another thing that just because I would see so much happening in the media where it would be like, oh, they're just about the same age, but he's a few months older and all that kind of stuff. I would honestly tell the boys, listen, if the girl is younger than you, you can't even like date her. You can't talk to her, which like to a certain extent, like I had one of my sons, he had an older girlfriend one time. And I'm like, why are you talking to that girl that's a little bit older than you? And he was like, you said younger. So meanwhile, I'm out here in 10th grade and my girlfriend a senior.
Real tough.
Because he only shooting his shots to older girls because of what I told him. But that was kind of like a protective measure to me, like, because I know something can still happen, but at the same time, like, check her age, check her birthday. If she younger than you, you just like move on. Like, she might be pretty, but you can't talk to her.
Let me ask this, kind of shifting it a little bit, but everybody has a daughter in this and on here. The ladies, do you feel like we're talking about toxic masculinity, Do you feel like the workplace is a better place than it has been? I don't know if you've ever had to experience any level of harassment or discrimination based on being a woman. Of course, being a Black woman, but I'm sure them lines are like, I don't know if it's because I'm Black or because I'm a woman or because I'm both. With that being said, if you've had to deal with that, do you feel like now is it better? Do you feel more comfortable having your daughters coming into the workspace, or you feel like they need a lot more prayer, that things need to change a lot more?
I've always worked in women dominated arenas, so I don't know that experience.
Right.
I've always worked with children and that kind of stuff. So when a man came into our work environment, it was more so concerned that he was going to be hit on because he was around all those women. Right. It was just kind of like, "Ooh, sir, okay, listen, you might want to go over there by yourself because it's about 3 of them already eyeing you."
Wow.
In my opinion, I think
Any Dr. Rollins?
I'm thinking, I guess it just depends on the environment that she decides to work in.
Right.
I mean, like Shanita said, if it's a school environment, if it's something that's already pretty much female dominated, which a lot of health and human service professions are,
Okay.
I don't think it would be that much of an issue. However, if she decides to go into corporate America,
right.
But she is a hustler. She is a mogul in the making. So yeah, then I would probably be concerned because there is still issues there,
Okay. What about you, Trina?
What I found a lot was that there were times when like we would be sitting in the attorney room.
Right.
And there'd just be a lot of conversations going on, and they didn't care that we were in there.
Wow.
And just the things that would the conversation that would, and sometimes I'd be like, "Excuse me, we're in here," or "Excuse me, I'm here." Like, you want to, it's just like they didn't think to say, "Oh, there's a woman here. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that or talking about this." So sometimes I'd just be like, I'm sitting in here, and maybe it was because I was, a Black woman, or maybe because mostly I think it was just because I'm quiet and I don't say anything. So I was probably just sitting there like,
right.
so I was invisible to begin with. But there were times where I would just say, "Excuse me, like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want,
Right.
But as far as my daughter's concerned, I think like Dr. Rollins was saying, as well as Shanetta, that I don't think she would be just because of what she's studying, she would be in that type of environment.
Right.
But also she's the type of person that will speak up and say something as well if she needed to. I feel like
that's good. That's good. Tangela, I know your girls are really small, but you can see in their personality and based on your interaction at work. How do you feel? Is it getting better? Is there hope?
I think so. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
I think so. Just socially, there's a lot of emphasis, on equality, fair treatment. Is there, work to be done? Absolutely. But I believe with the generations that's coming behind us, they are definitely going to be more vocal about what they need, what is fair, and what they will or will not accept. One thing I've identified with this generation, especially when it comes to job, if it doesn't vibe with them, they are not going to stay. So they're not going to subject themselves to any unfair treatment and just kind of suck it up and kind of take it for the team.
Right. Okay. All right. So I know we're running close on time. So is there anything that you guys feel? So I know we talked about shooting the shot. I know we kind of got stuck there. Okay. Dr. Rollins, I know she's probably shaking her head watching the broadcast the whole time, like, y'all just stuck. Do you feel like with the rise of the Me Too movement and the conversation about toxic masculinity, do you feel like things are kind of shifting or changing, or is it putting men more in the defensive? What do you got? And this is like overall question. Ladies can answer first, and then my gentleman, do you feel like based on what you've seen? Because a lot of, unfortunately, we judge on what we see on social media. We judge the reactions of other guys, and sometimes I feel like those percentages of people are actually really small. We just see them a whole lot, so it just makes the number look bigger than what it really is. But do you feel like the rise, is there more of a defense, or is it an understanding? Like, okay, where do we stand at? I can start there with Dr. Rollins and Sean.
Yeah, I think as I shared earlier, I think that generations now and times now that folks are starting to, make changes and understand, toxic masculinity in and of itself isn't really a thing. There's toxic behaviors. Men are not toxic inherently or anything like that, but certain behaviors are unacceptable. And I think men and boys are learning that, and that there will be change, going forward.
Okay.
I think it just makes people more mindful of what they're saying or how they're saying things.
Right.
I don't see as much as I used to of let's say when somebody gets shot down, of them calling out people's name. Now they still do it, but I don't see it as much as I used to.
Okay.
Like you'll see somebody, a girl like, nah, and then next thing you know, blah, 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 coming right out behind it. I don't see that as much as I used to. Now, see, they just keep walking on. But I would say, like I said, the most I see right now is it just makes you more mindful of what's going on when you say, or how you're acting with it.
Gotcha. Okay. Trina?
I think what I've heard from, one of the things I've heard from my daughter and on social media is that there is still that kind of sense of entitlement.
Okay.
Sometimes. For example, if someone takes you out to dinner, a lot of times there's an expectation. I paid for dinner, so you should be, reciprocating with something physical. And that's 2021. This is not like back in our day. This is here and now. There's that sense of entitlement. Oh, I did this. What are you going to do?
Right.
So I think that's something that needs to be, that's something where we still need to work on. This entitlement. I think it's still a problem.
I got you. Okay. McNeis?
When I think about it, I think that it's a little I am probably on the side of the unpopular opinion when it comes to some things in this area. Okay. I just feel like both sides play roles, and that it could kind of come from both ends. So whether it's a sense of entitlement from the male perspective and they expect certain things because I did this, because I did that, or whether it's coming from the female side where their behaviors also encourage certain expectations and encourage certain senses of entitlement. But then when certain things happen that they don't like or that they didn't want or that they don't agree with, then now we have kind of this cry for help. And I don't feel like every cry for help is a true cry for help. So I think that the lines have become blurred for what men can and can't do or how they are behaving, because every cry for help has not been a true cry. It's kind of some people crying wolf and saying that he violated me or he mistreated me or he forced himself upon me or he made me feel uncomfortable, when it's not that you really felt uncomfortable. It's more so that he didn't do what you wanted him to do. And that this is what will get him in trouble, guaranteed, because of that. So I think that when we talk about toxic masculinity, we also have to talk about toxic traits that females have too, that kind of push both ends of the situation, and not that there are not true, because I don't want any of the Me Too movement people coming after me. It's not that I don't believe that when a woman has truly been violated, that she should not say anything. I do believe that when a woman has truly been violated, that should be handled 100%. But I do feel like there are a subset of women who are out here pretty much just crying wolf. And they're, what'd you say?
That's the point.
No, not that. They're crying wolf, and they are saying that something happened when nothing really happened to them. They're lying. And I don't like that either. So I kind of stand on both sides of it, where when it comes to our young people, we have to teach them to tell the truth.
Right.
And then we have to teach our young men to respect a no, like kind of like what we said earlier.
Okay. All right. And then Terrell's, then I have one more question. One more question. It's an easy one. Well, not easy, but it's a quick one. Terrell's.
Really?
I again agree with the sentiments that were shared from everyone. I think it's a new day, and some traits that may have been generally accepted back in the day is no longer accepted. So I think we're still trying to navigate the male-female dynamics, and I think the key to that is communication and respect. So I'm hoping to see a heightened sense of just greater level of communication between the sexes, even on a platonic level.
Right. Okay. All right. So my last question: if you've ever witnessed toxic masculinity happening, would you say something? Or like, unfortunately, Dr. Rollins, we stuck to shoot your shot, and you get a bad rejection. The cuss out. Forget you whatever. Like, would you say something? Would you step in? Or if it's at work, and you may know the person, because I know sometimes a stranger, you may not jump as quick, but someone that at work, hollering at the new girl, or hollering at they're hollering at somebody from another department, and they get a little crazy about it. Do you say something? Do you step in?
For me, I would say there are certain ways of stepping in. For me, I would be more of a deflector versus, just blatantly putting out, hey, you don't need to talk to her like this, or I can bring up something else. If it's coworker, hey, did you get that? Did you see that email? Something just to, deflect versus trying to
step in the way.
Yeah, be in the way,
Gotcha.
That type of thing.
Okay. McNair, what you think?
Yeah, I think he was talking to yeah.
Yes. Way back there.
I don't know. I guess it depends. It depends on what happened. It depends on what's being said, and how far it actually went, and the response that the female gives. Yeah, it really just depends.
Okay. Interesting. Terrell?
Yeah, no, you step in, you diffuse the situation, and then you shoot your shot.
Awesome.
Brother, you gotta talk to her like that. Hey, girl, what you doing later?
Right.
The how and the where.
Right.
It's always a good time.
It's always a good.
I guess you get to the point, AD, like you're saying, of like, how do we challenge each other?
Yeah.
When we see something, do we say something?
Right.
Are we, that's a part of, that toxic thing too. Like, how do you do you feel less of a man if you challenge another man on this
Right.
manly behavior, you
Right.
know,
Right.
something that's traditional norm behavior? How do they look at you if you don't do it or if you don't accept it and that
Right.
type of thing?
Yeah.
You know, it really is, like you all talked about early this morning, it is a large share of the work is on other men to challenge, you know, other men's behavior.
Right. 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 To change it. All right. I think I'm done. Tim, you want to close us out? All hearts and mind are clear.
You're on mute.
I think you are you on mute? I think she's on mute.
I'm sorry. Thank you guys for joining us. For all our viewers, thank you for your time. We are here every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Well, not all of us, but the ladies are here every Tuesday. To our wonderful guests tonight, thank you guys so much. You made it much easier for me with all the awesome comments. Again, we'll be back next Tuesday, 8:30. So until then, be safe.